On the political front, a race affecting the Valley and several South Texas counties pits an established incumbent against a young challenger.
It is for a congressional seat. Channel 5's Valerie Gonzalez spoke with both of them about their successes, platforms, and challenges.
A lateral swath starting in San Antonio, stretching to Laredo, and extending to part of the Valley is Congressional District 28. Residents have elected Henry Cuellar to represent them for the last 15 years.
My two daughters and my wife, we live in Laredo, Texas.
Hola, buenas tardes.
This year, a challenger rose from the same city.
I was born and raised in Laredo, Texas. My parents are Mexican immigrants from Nuevo Laredo.
Cisneros is an immigration and human rights attorney. She has the backing of a progressive group, Justice Democrats. They catapulted Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez into Congress. On this day, Cisneros was block walking in Mission.
We're trying to fight for better access for health care because we know here sometimes we have to go to Mexico to go get medication or prescriptions or whatever, and it shouldn't be that way.
She is supporting Medicare for All, a single-payer national health insurance program championed by Bernie Sanders. Cisneros says it will help especially this area that has high uninsured and poverty rates. From speaking with voters, other basic necessities have surfaced.
It really is infrastructure stuff. Sometimes the school buses can't go into the colonias because there's so much mud and it'll get stuck, right? And like the kids can't go to school.
She aligns herself with progressive initiatives like the Green New Deal, the PRO Act, and opposing the NRA. Cisneros and Cuellar do intersect on some interests, the well-being of children.
There are some areas that, I am progressive when it comes to education and healthcare. Of course, I want to make sure that we get our monies to, so our students can go to schools, or the Title I monies for our school districts. So we brought millions of dollars here for our school district.
As a member of Congress, Cuellar sits on appropriations committees for the Departments of Defense, Homeland Security, and Agriculture. That helps navigate federal tax dollars to the military, border issues, ranching, food banks, and school lunches.
So as a member of the appropriations and the only Democrat, not only in Texas, but across different states, I'm able to have a say-so at the table to decide how money will be allocated.
Cuellar's bipartisanship is evident in his legislative record. On this ideological map compiled by GovTrack, a government transparency website, you can see Cuellar's bill sponsorship and co-sponsorship. He is off center-right. Cisneros is a critic of his stance.
I just felt that the current incumbent voting with Trump 70% of the time and enabling his agenda was just not representing us the way that we deserve.
According to GovTrack, of the 233 bills that Cuellar has co-sponsored, 31% were introduced by a legislator who was not a Democrat. Cuellar says his willingness to reach across the aisle has made him more productive.
I see bipartisan as a positive, because when the people of District 28 send their members of Congress, they don't want them to vote 100% with the Democratic Party. And I hope the Republicans don't want to send their members up there to vote 100% with the Republican Party, because if you send them to just vote that, you're going to have this hyper-partisan position that we're seeing right now.
If voters select Cisneros, she will be the youngest member of Congress. She says that's not a concern to people she's talked to on the road.
When I'm knocking on doors, the people just want to know, what are you going to do to make sure we have access to health care? What are you going to do to make sure that my family stays together? Because some of us, don't have the immigration status that would allow us to pursue, the American dream.
For many voters, the issues continue to be the deciding factor. In Wasago, Valerie Gonzalez, Channel 5 News at 10.
And next week's winner in the Texas primary will face Republican challenger Sandra Whitten. It will be in the November general election.